ग्रेट। सो सभी को नमस्ते। हमारे 3 months क्रैश कोर्स में हम हमारा यूनिट 1 टीचिंग एप्टीट्यूड जो आज कवर करने वाले हैं, उसमें आपको पता होगा कि there are numerous e-learning techniques. E-learning is a mode which has been provided by the government of India for the students of India and the teachers of India so as to make this digital e-learning very much seamless. ये एक बहुत ही रेवोल्यूशनरी पड़ाव है गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया के द्वारा, जिसमें पढ़ना पढ़ाना बहुत ही आसान हो गया है। डिजिटल इंडिया के अलग अलग प्रकल्पों में देयर आर सम न्यूमरस important initiatives which have been taken, which we cannot ignore, so we'll look at them in a short while. So firstly, e-learning platforms have emerged as one of the best measures to help students continue their learning and study even during COVID-19 outbreak, right? तो आप जानते होंगे कि कोविड आए या कोई और फ्लू आए, हमारी पढ़ना पढ़ाने की क्लासेस कभी भी खत्म नहीं हुए हैं, दे वर ऑलवेज देयर। सो इसका सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट क्या मंतव्य बनता है, that this e-learning platform is something which we all should be knowing about. So there are numerous different ways. One of it is the type which we are having, this e-learning through online Zoom platform, which has been provided by Samyukta Yoga Academy. Apart from that, Government of India के द्वारा there are numerous initiatives जिसकी बात करते हैं स्वयं, दीक्षा, ई पाठशाला, NRDER, स्वयं प्रभा, ई यंत्र, virtual labs, NCRT. So there are different ways, there are different initiatives which have been taken. तो e-learning platform के बारे में हम बात कर रहे थे, और इसमें सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट बात ये है कि ये सारे जो इनिशिएटिव्स MHRD की तरफ से जो आते थे, you must be aware of the fact that this NHRD is now renamed, MHRD, Human Resource Development, Ministry of Human Resource Development is now officially renamed as what? कोई बताएगा मुझे? Any guess? I know you must be aware of it. Please send me it in the message box. What is it renamed as? MHRD is now renamed as? Send it to me in the chat box. MHRD is now renamed as HRDA. What is HRDA? No. MHRD, Ministry of Human Resource Development, is now renamed as what? आप जानते होंगे there is this new education policy NEP 2020 के finalize clear होने के दौरान this renaming was one of the key recommendation which was being taken. Renaming was done by this union cabinet which was set under the guidance of, under the panel headed by former ISRO chairman K Kasturi Rangan. आपने जाना होगा कि ये जो NEP न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी 2020 जो लागू हुआ, उसमें मेजरली यहाँ पे उसका रीनेम करना, MHRD का डैश 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 में रीनेम होना एक वन ऑफ द रिकमेंडेशन थी. What is it renamed as? No, MHRD is not renamed as NEP. Obviously not. It is a ministry, right? And NEP का full form क्या है? New Education Policy. What is it renamed as? MHRD को हम कहते हैं, any guess? Send it to me in the chat box. Arey, please send. MOE, Ministry of Education. Very nice. Ministry of Education, correct. So इसको हम Ministry of Education इसलिए कहते हैं because there are so many initiatives which have been taken under it, and digital India में education की reforms लाना एक बहुत ही important पड़ाव है. So there are different initiatives which have been taken. So this National Repository of Open Educational Resources, NROER, में यहाँ पे approximately 1600 registered users हैं, and there are this e-learning sources, numerous e-learning sources, and नो सुब्रमण्यम जी वर रॉन्ग, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ ह्यूमन रिसोर्स डेवलपमेंट को फिर बाद में, यस एमएचआरडी का फुल फॉर्म वो है, बाकी उसको कहते हैं मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एजुकेशन. ओके, सो दिस यहाँ पे ये जो प्लेटफॉर्म है ना, इसमें देर आर न्यूमरस ई बुक्स, ई कोर्सेस एंड एबिलिटी टू फैसिलिटी टू हैव दिस ऑनलाइन एजुकेशन सिस्टम. तो यहाँ पे जो कोर्स कंटेंट है वो हिंदी और इंग्लिश दोनों में है, आप चाहे तो उसकी साइट पे जाके देख सकते हैं. दिस दीक्षा इज अनदर रेवोल्यूशनरी स्टेप, जिसमें मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एचआरडी जो है ना, दे लॉन्च्ड this national digital infrastructure for the teachers, diksha portal, to equip teachers from class 1 to class 12 into the world of e-learning. So पहली कक्षा से लेकर 12वीं कक्षा तक के पढ़ाने वाले टीचर्स को यहाँ पे एक प्लेटफॉर्म दिया जा रहा है, so as to make the learning material available for them. Okay, so Diksha is one of the unique app which requires students and teachers to scan the QR code available in that book in order to access the prescribed learning material. How cool is that, isn't it? So with more than around 80,000 solely created to train and enhance learning of students of class 12, this aim of CBSE, NCRT, and states and union territories is made to ensure that students do not miss out learning in any case. Even आप अगर offline class में भी नहीं जा पा रहे हो, you can use this app, Diksha app. Okay, so the portal is available in multiple languages for the students. Okay, इसके बाद एक और एक प्लेटफॉर्म है जिसको कहते हैं ई पाठशाला. ई पाठशाला में मेजरली यहाँ पे ये है कि this platform is making use of the web portal for making students from class 1st to class 12th to able to access no less than so many audios, so many videos, so many books and flip books. So यहाँ पे this digital repository has been made available by NCRT to make sure students do not miss out any important concepts to be taught in the class. So this is also another step which has been taken to make the students of class 1st to 12th well equipped. So इसको कहते हैं e-पाठशाला. The e-पाठशाला is also available in several languages like the other digital platforms. इससे पहले कौन सी बात करी? e-दीक्षा की, right? So there is this another स्वयं portal. स्वयं का full form क्या है? Yes. So तरुणा, जिसने भी आपको मेरा इस क्लास के बारे में बताया है उसको मेरा नंबर देने को कहना. So you will get to know about this classes and क्या क्या content है और आप कहाँ से add in हो गए हो. So whatever you have missed, don't worry, because जो parts आपको miss हुए हैं वो drive में सुरक्षित है, तो आप उसको cover up कर लेना Saturday की classes में या फिर जब भी आपको समय मिले. Okay, you can contact me at I'll share you the number. Take this number, save it, and you can contact me after the class. So this Swayam platform is making use of this MOOC. Okay, MOOC का full form कौन बताएगा मुझे? MOOC का full form क्या है? Students from foundation course. ये आपका क्रैश कोर्स चल रहा है, सो प्लीज आंसर दिस. मूक का फुल फॉर्म क्या होगा? व्हाट इज द फुल फॉर्म ऑफ मूक? सुब्रमण्यम जी, देन उर्जिता, आंसर. सो मेनी. राजेश प्रामाणिक, बताइए क्या होगा मूक का फुल फॉर्म? इंटरनेट मत खोल के देखना. इवन यस, आंसर massive open online course. Very nice, Gayatri ji, that's correct. Massive open online course is the course जिसमें आपको massive content मिल जाता है. इसका नाम ही ऐसा है, massive open online course. So this is a platform which has been initiated by Government of India to offer MOOC courses. Okay, so you can go on and check out the platform site, which is written as www.swayam.government.in. Okay, Rajesh, आपको कुछ कहना है? You can please send it to me in the message box. That will be nice. So free and interactive learning opportunities have been provided for the students of class 9th till post-graduation. That's great, right? So offering courses developed over 1,000 experts across India, along with self-assessment tests, certification also being provided. So you can get this certification provided there is some fees. थोड़ा सा फीस चार्ज करते हैं वो. Even we this sports biomechanics actually क्या है ना, these courses are being prepared by eminent universities ke professors. So the professors from eminent universities like IIT, NIT, they prepared this content, out of which one content, sports biomechanics, was being launched by Dr. BK Katiyar, who is now the Dean of Research in University of Patanjali. So he had told me and Pintu sir to make the content for the sports biomechanics, and we had prepared, which is now available online on the Swayam portal as well. So इसमें ये है कि there are different subjects from normal engineering concepts to the higher core and engineering concepts, like for example sports biomechanics. तो यहाँ पे कंटेंट को आप ब्राउज करके देखना, you can check out that site and see how massive content is made available to you at such a nominal amount. So this is basically been done by the government, right? So the courses are available for teachers as well, because teachers also have to learn all the time, just like students. तो यहाँ पे accountancy से लेकर architecture, engineering, management के सभी courses के contents आपको provide होते हैं. And the main objective of this program is to take the best optimal teaching learning resources to all. So including the most disadvantaged section of the society, an initiative of Government of India for the students pursuing education from class 9th to 12th. This facility is being made for aspirants seeking undergraduation to post-graduation levels, and this content makes the students learn through video lectures, then reading material, doubt sessions, making the content learning much easier. So यहाँ पे AICTE, NCERT, IGNOU, UGC, NPTEL, NIOS, IIMB, CC, इनकी तरफ से कंटेंट को डिलीवर किया जाता है. Contents are being delivered, updated, and the excellent quality contents are prepared for the aspirants. Okay, students registering for the courses at Swayam need not pay any fees as the course to learn. But if you want the certification, some nominal price is being charged. Okay, that's fair, right? If you want to get something, you have to charge. So that's the exchange of your dedication in it, right? So इसके साथ मैं अब थोड़ा सा MOOC के बारे में बताती हूँ कि massive open online courses क्या होते हैं. So they are basically the free online courses which are being available for anyone to enroll. For anyone to enroll. इसका मतलब क्या है? So there is no such criteria of your qualification to learn. Okay, so MOOC provides an affordable and flexible way to learn new skills. अपनी सृजनात्मक शक्ति को विकास करने के लिए. So there are different courses which has been available to you. Advance your career and deliver quality education experience at your own need. This MOOC is one of the good way to ace your own level. Okay, तो यहाँ पे बहुत सारे कोर्सेस हैं, इसलिए इसको कहते हैं मैसिव. इसको फुल फॉर्म है मैसिव ओपन ऑनलाइन कोर्स. तो यहाँ पे 1 लाख से भी ज्यादा स्टूडेंट्स पढ़ते हैं. Anyone, anywhere can register for these courses. Coursework is delivered entirely over the internet. and the MOOCs are very similar to the most online college courses, है ना? So इसके बारे में आप देख सकते हो आगे. So there is mooc.org wherein you can go and search about it. Students from anywhere with the internet connection can access these free courses facilitated by some of the top educators and experts in every subject area. तो यहाँ पे हम समझ पा रहे होंगे कि MOOCs have become a popular avenue for diverse learners to upgrade their education and skills, right? So Swayam Prabha is yet another initiative by Ministry of Human Resource Development, जिसमें 32 high definition channels, D2H, direct to home, DTH channels across the length and breadth of the country provide किए जाते हैं 24/7 basis पे. So it has the curriculum based course content covering diverse disciplines. This is primarily aimed at making quality learning resources accessible to remote areas where internet availability is still a challenge. जहाँ पे इंटरनेट की सुविधाएं नहीं है, उस जगह पे आप टीवी के माध्यम से, D2H के माध्यम से कंटेंट्स को अंडरस्टैंड करके पढ़ सकते हो. So this Swayam Prabha is an initiative, but it is coming in the TV mode, है ना, DTH channels के मोड में. So स्वयं और स्वयं प्रभा के बारे में आपको पता चल गया. The DTH channels are using the GSAT-15 satellite for program telecasts. Okay, GSAT-15 satellite telecasts. तो यहाँ पे स्वयं प्रभा is a group of 32 DTH channels, 32 DTH channels, जिसमें since when are okay, so they are been operational from long time. And यहाँ पे हम एक चीज समझ पा रहे होंगे कि this initiative was being launched to make sure that the contents which are being provided by NPTEL, IIT, and different sources, like for example, contents covering from wide variety, art, science, commerce, इन सब के यहाँ पे कोर्स कंटेंट अवेलेबल होते हैं. ठीक है, you can check out the content. Great. So the DTH channels shall cover यहाँ पे higher education का content, higher education का content, curriculum based course content, post graduation से लेकर under graduation तक के content, art, science, commerce, and different even engineering, technology, law, medicine, agriculture के भी कंटेंट्स यहाँ पे आपको फ्लैश होते जाएंगे. ये जो है ना स्वयं प्रभा 2017 से लॉन्च हुआ है. ओके, और ये पोर्टल मेजरली इट वाज कंसिडर्ड एज एन इनिशिएटिव one step ahead of this Swayam. Okay, so all courses will be certificate ready in detailed offering through Swayam. Okay, the platform being developed by this MOOC courses. तो यहाँ पे स्कूल के एजुकेशन 9वीं से लेकर 12वीं तक के लेवल्स का कंटेंट, टीचर ट्रेनिंग का बेसिक मॉड्यूल सब कवर हो जाता है. तो यहाँ पे आप देख पा रहे होंगे. So these initiatives which have been taken to make sure the study web of active learning for young aspiring minds. स्वयं का फुल फॉर्म है ये. स्वयं का फुल फॉर्म क्या है? स्टडी, इसका फुल फॉर्म याद रखना, नहीं तो आपको ऑप्शंस में आ सकता है. स्टडी वेब ऑफ एक्टिव लर्निंग फॉर यंग एस्पायरिंग माइंड्स, स्वयं. ओके, सो स्वयं के बाद स्वयं प्रभा की हमने बात करी. स्वयं प्रभा इज एन एजुकेशनल लर्निंग प्लेटफॉर्म इनिशिएटेड बाय मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ ह्यूमन रिसोर्स डेवलपमेंट बैक इन 2017 and available through 24/7 through 32, which is now converted into 34 DTH channels, 34 direct to home channels. This initiative provide educational program on television on multiple time zones. Okay, so the content providers are, कौन बताएगा? What are the content? Who are the content providers? NPTEL, IIT, UGC, NCERT, ये सभी content providers हैं इसके. ठीक है? Yes, so स्वयं का full form है Study Web of Active Learning for Young Aspiring Minds. Okay? ठीक है, आगे बढ़े, फोटो खींच लेना कंटेंट का. सो स्वयं प्रभा की बात करी. हाँ, नेशनल डिजिटल लाइब्रेरी NDL is yet another initiative which brings the world of books online for students, teachers, researchers and lifelong learners. तो यहाँ पे बहुत सारे बुक्स आपको एक जगह पे अवेलेबल है. So this is called a national digital library. 10 million items by 3 lakh authors in over 70 languages, free of cost. So you can access 60 types of learning resources at NDL, access books, theses, audio, video lectures, web courses and so on. Go right now after this class. आपको सभी को अपना थोड़ा सा होमवर्क करना है, इंटरनेट पे जाके देखना है क्या क्या है ये चीजें, है ना? So this will in turn build that connections and interest in knowing what are the different initiatives which have been taken by the government of India for the students of India and the teachers of India. So National Digital Library के बाद हम बात करते हैं National Academic Repository or a depository. Okay, so this is being run by UGC that has a tie-up with approximately 55 school boards, 359 state universities, 123 deemed universities, 47 central universities, 260 private universities. यहाँ पे academic का related content होता है. National Digital Library of India run by MHRD under its national mission on education through information and communication technology, NMEICT के अंडर में ये कंटेंट्स प्रोवाइड करते हैं, नॉट जस्ट फॉर स्कूल स्टूडेंट्स बट ऑल्सो फॉर दोज हु आर परस्यूइंग द हायर एजुकेशन, द PhD डिग्री लेवल एजुकेशन एज वेल. सो यहाँ पे एक और बात आती है वर्चुअल लैब्स की. The virtual lab is another key initiative which has been taken by MHRD and Government of India under the mentorship of NMEICT. NMEICT का फुल फॉर्म भी याद रखना है, क्या है? National Mission on Education through Information and Communication Technology. Okay, National Mission on Education through Information and Communication Technology. So NMEICT के अंडर ये virtual labs जो होते हैं, it is basically a consortium of 12 IITs which aim to provide online classes and study resources through virtual labs wherein 700 plus virtual experiments are designed. So cool na? 700 virtual experiments are being designed and promoted for aspirants to study and understand. How cool is that? तो यहाँ पे आपको वर्चुअल माध्यम से IITs में होने वाले कंटेंट्स को यहाँ पे पोर्ट्रे किया गया है. They are all developed virtually. Virtual experiments provide करे गए हैं and you can actually look at them. तो ये NMEICT के द्वारा है. There are numerous initiatives and programs which are being launched by Government of India and MHRD for the aspirants. The digital world and e-learning are expanding its presence globally. Therefore, students are advised to make full use of these online courses, online resources, especially during COVID-19 outbreak to avoid any obstacle in the path of learning. राइट. सो कोविड आए या कुछ भी आए, हमारे ऑनलाइन क्लासेस जिस प्रकार से चलतेंगे, आपको गोवा आने की जरूरत नहीं है. यू कैन हैव अ नाइस कप ऑफ कॉफी एट योर ओन प्लेस एंड गेट एक्सेस टू दिस क्लासेस एट योर ओन टाइम, है ना? सो दिस इज द एडवांटेज ऑफ ऑनलाइन लर्निंग. So there we come to the computer based training. कंप्यूटर बेस्ड ट्रेनिंग एक पड़ाव है जिसको हम आईसीटी बेस्ड ट्रेनिंग भी कहते हैं. इट इज जनरली अ सीबीटी लर्निंग, मतलब कि कंप्यूटर के माध्यम से कंप्यूटर की लर्निंग. सो आईसीटी इवॉल्व्ड फ्रॉम सीबीटी along with the maturation of इंटरनेट जैसे जैसे लोगों को बीच में सामान्य सी चीज होने लगी, बहुत ही फेमस होने लगा या फिर यूज्ड होने लगा कंटेंट, वैसे वैसे सीबीटी का लर्निंग बहुत ज्यादा कारगर होने लगा. सो इट इंक्लूड्स इंटरनेट बेस्ड लर्निंग, वेब बेस्ड लर्निंग, ऑनलाइन लर्निंग, है ना. तो इनके बारे में हम आईसीटी का सेक्शन जब आएगा, यूनिट 8 में आईसीटी का पार्ट आता है, उसमें आपको ये सारे चीजें और डिटेल में पढ़ाई जाएंगी. However, it's a crash course. इवैल्यूएशन या फिर मूल्यांकन के बारे में बात करें तो द मेन ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑफ टीचिंग इज टू ब्रिंग desired change in the students, is to bring desired change in the students. तो यहाँ पे हम एक चीज समझ रहे होंगे कि the main objective of any learning mode is to make students change from where they were. May it be inputs from education perspective, academic perspective, their own personal perspective, whatever it is. तो यहाँ पे हम बच्चे का सर्वांगीण विकास पे भर देते हैं, and the desired change which we want in the students should be measured. तो इसका सीधा सीधा मतलब ये बनता है कि स्टूडेंट्स के बिहेवियर या स्टूडेंट्स की ग्रोथ में चेंजेस होना का डायरेक्ट रिलेशन है टीचर्स के इवैल्यूएशन सिस्टम में भी. सो टीचर्स के टीचिंग मोड का या फिर स्टूडेंट्स के लर्निंग मोड का इवैल्यूएशन के बारे में बात करते हैं तो देयर आर बेसिकली दीज डिफरेंट टाइप्स. उसके बाद हम करेंगे अभी learning. So we'll first talk about learning के different stages. So what are the desired characteristics of evaluation system? इस मूल्यांकन प्रक्रिया के क्या क्या मेजरली क्राइटेरियाज हैं, इसकी बात करते हैं. So let us first talk about this different modes of evaluation. So you must have heard about these intermediate tests. Like for example, last week आपको एक टेस्ट आया था, संडे को एक टेस्ट आया था. कितने जनों ने आंसर किया? प्लीज हाथ खड़े कर दीजिए. रेज योर हैंड्स दोज हु हैव आंसर्ड इट. Of course I know who all, but I want to know it from you. How many of you have answered it? How many of you have answered it? And those who have not? Okay, tell me how many of you all have answered. Raise your hands who have answered. Keep the hands raised. I'm watching you all now. Keep the hands raised. गौरव ने आंसर नहीं किया, HP नहीं किया क्या, लक्ष्मी जी ओके, नवज्योति why haven't you answered it? Then निक्की शर्मा ओके, वीरेंद्र कुमार, वीरेंद्र तो आंसर किया. You have got शायद 98 out of 100, right? वीरेंद्र कुमार has got 98. विजय सिंह ने आंसर नहीं किया क्या? Okay. So there are quite a few students who have answered. Many have answered and some haven't answered. Please don't do that. So make sure that you answer it on the regular basis. Yes, Sunday को जो आपको टेस्ट भेजा था, 100 मार्क्स का जो टेस्ट भेजा था, वो वाली उसकी बात कर रही हूँ मैं. थैंक यू सो मच. अपना हाथ नीचे कर दीजिए. थैंक यू सो मच. Great. So here we talk about these different types, formative and summative. तो फॉर्मेटिव में होता है कि कंटिन्यूस इवैल्यूएशन होता है जब हम छोटे छोटे टेस्ट के माध्यम से स्टूडेंट्स के रिस्पॉन्स को नापते हैं, स्टूडेंट्स के प्रोग्रेस को नापते हैं, वो कहलाया जाएगा फॉर्मेटिव असेसमेंट. ओके, छोटे छोटे टेस्ट ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम. Summative tests talk about the last summarized pencil paper test. मतलब लास्ट में जो आपको एग्जाम होगा, तो यहाँ पे summative टेस्ट कौन सा होगा? जब आपका यूजीसी नेट का पेपर आएगा, राइट? यूजीसी नेट का पेपर आएगा, उस टाइम पे जो भी आप दिए लगाने वाले हो, तो वो आपका समेटिव टेस्ट हो जाएगा. बट फॉर्मेटिव टेस्ट टॉक अबाउट द कंटिन्यूस इवैल्यूएशन टेस्ट जो होते हैं. सो हर एक का अपना अपना इंपॉर्टेंस है. सबसे पहली बात अगर बात करें तो कॉम्प्रिहेंसिवनेस है. सो इट मस्ट ट्राई टू एक्सेस ऑल द एस्पेक्ट्स ऑफ चाइल्ड्स डेवलपमेंट. Thus, different techniques might be used by teachers to evaluate performance of the child. तो यहाँ पे evaluation अगर continuous हो then it helps to get the progress much more faster. तो आप अगर continuously करोगे पढ़ाई तो obvious सी बात है the success has to follow. So even if you haven't solved it, you still have chance because unit 1 अभी खत्म नहीं हुआ है. आज खत्म हो जाएगा, आज कंप्लीट हो जाएगा यूनिट 1 and then there'll be another big major chunk which is coming up, unit 2 research aptitude. तो research aptitude में मुड़ने से पहले आपको ये पेपर सॉल्व करना है, those who haven't as yet. Okay, so grading system of evaluation की बात करें, so there are basically different types of grading system. The word grade is derived from Latin word gradus, which means step up. In educational measurements, grading involves the use of a set of symbols to communicate the level of achievement. Okay, achievement. तो यहाँ पे जो grading system है ये भी हमें एक तरह से help करती है कि हमारा कितना step up हुआ. Right? So there is this absolute grading. Absolute grading की बात करें तो यहाँ पे जो numbers होते हैं, है ना? So absolute grading is the conventional, जो traditional method है, traditional technique of evaluation. It is based on predetermined standards that becomes like a reference point for the student's performance evaluation. It involves the marks जो भी आपको मिलते हैं वो, जैसे बात करें तो categorization. So there are particular fixed number of marks मिलते हैं, then we are considered like a distinction आएगा. 75% से above आएंगे तो you are classified as distinction, है ना? You are classified as distinction grade. First division is 60% and 75 के बीच में. Then second division is 45 to 60. 45 to 60 तो second आएगा. Third division is when 33 और less than 33 और 45 के बीच में जो है ना? तो ऐसे, और unsatisfactory is when it's below 33. So relative grading की बात करें तो यहाँ पे relative grading system is something wherein you are comparing it with the overall performance of the students. Okay, so यहाँ पे relative grading is a generally used in public examinations. Like for example NET. In this, the grade of a student is decided not by her performance alone but by the performance of the group. Like for example, we know it as, what is it? What do we know that as? हमारे NET JRF में भी आपको परसेंटेज के साथ साथ एक और टर्म आता है जिसको कहते हैं हम रिलेटिव ग्रेडिंग. व्हाट इज दैट टर्म्ड एज? व्हाट इज इट टर्म्ड एज? प्लीज बताइए, व्हाट इज इट टर्म्ड एज? नहीं, मैसेज में लिखिए, यू डोंट हैव टू टेल. व्हाट इज इट टर्म्ड एज? परसेंटाइल. करेक्ट, इट्स कॉल्ड एज परसेंटाइल. राइट. सो यहाँ पे दिस परसेंटाइल is something nothing but relative grading. अरे लिखा था वहां पे. Yes. So there is this direct grading and indirect grading. So now we talk about choice-based credit system, CBCS. नाम तो सुना होगा, है ना? So quality education plays an important role in enhancing the knowledge, developing the skills, building the confidence and creating a positive environment, positive impact on the student's life, right? So it's very important that students grow not just professionally but also lay a solid foundation for their personal growth as well, है ना? So to ensure this quality education, higher education institutions have developed this technique of CBCS. Okay, so this focuses on imparting education and promoting skill development by providing flexibility to explore various fields. इसकी सहायता से शिक्षा प्रणाली के स्वरूप में हम ये कहते हैं कि CBCS के कारण छात्रों को लचीलापन मिलता है शिक्षा ग्रहण करने में। ओके, सो अलग अलग समय पर विभिन्न संस्थानों में अध्ययन कर पाने का लचीलापन मिलता है। लचीलापन, फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी टू परस्यू द कोर्सेज फ्रॉम डिफरेंट इंस्टीट्यूशंस, डिफरेंट एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशंस। तो बात करते हैं व्हाट इज द CBCS। CBCS talks about choice-based credit system. Choice-based credit system in higher education, which works upon a simple principle of the choice being provided in the student's hands. Choice is being in the student's hands. Okay, so यहाँ पे college provide करता है subject options to the students. Students can choose the subjects according to their interest, and credits are required for that particular semester can be pursued by attempting for that subject. तो आप ऐसा मान सकते हैं कि कोई भी लेवल की आपको अगर हायर एजुकेशन लर्निंग करनी है तो उसका बेस एजुकेशन सिस्टम के जो क्रेडिट पॉइंट्स हैं वो आपको उस बेस लेवल एजुकेशन से लेने पड़ते हैं। ओके, तो दे विल अटेंड theory classes, practical classes, obtain the credits out of it, obtain the credits, necessary credits उनको मिल जाएंगे। Once they acquire the required credits, they can pass that semester and pursue your certification. तो इसका सबसे important फायदा क्या है? So there is this shift in focus from teacher centric to the student centric, because here the choice is being provided to the students to learn what they want to, है ना? तो यहाँ पे though it's difficult to adopt, but it has been in line. Students may undertake as many credits as they can to cope up with the content, to cope up without repeating all courses in a given semester. If they fail in one or more courses, they can go for those credit subjects which they have failed or cover करें फिर। CBCS allows students to choose interdisciplinary, intradisciplinary courses, skill-oriented papers, even from other disciplines according to their learning needs, okay, interest and aptitude. So यहाँ पे flexibility students को provide करी जाती है at such a nice level that CBCS makes education broad-based and moreover making it at a global level, global standards. One can take credits, ये बाहर के देशों में ज़्यादा प्रचलित है CBCS का system. One can take the credits by combining unique combinations, like for example physics with economics, microbiology with chemistry, environment science with some other core subject. So though it is difficult to adopt, the uniform grading system will also enable potential employers in assessing the performance of the candidates. So in order to bring the uniformity in the evaluation system, यहाँ पे they have this something known as CGPA. CGPA का full form कोई बताएगा? Message box में type कर लीजिए. What is the full form of CGPA? What is the full form of CGPA? CGPA. Yeah. Compound annual growth? No. Cumulative grade point average, CGPA. Okay, cumulative grade point average. It is basically checking the student's performance in the examination. It's another way of checking it. UGC has formulated the guidelines to be followed for the CGPA and all those things. ये majorly higher education जो हमारे eminent universities हैं जैसे कि IIT, NITs, they have this something called a CGPA. They don't have this percentage, but they have CGPA. 10 points का CGPA होता है. So it's a kind of relative grading. Percentile के जैसा है, but they have something with the pointers, 10 point या फिर 9 point, 7 point CGPA, whatever. So CBCS offers flexibility to the students to study at different times at different institutions to complete one course. Okay. So हम ये मान के चलते हैं कि CGPA बहुत अच्छा है ना? तो we'll learn that credits earned at one institutions can be transferred. ये सबसे उसकी खासियत है, सबसे अच्छी खासियत है. अगर आप एक इंस्टीट्यूशन से दूसरे इंस्टीट्यूशन में ट्रांसफर भी करना चाहते हो, CBCS gives you this nice flexibility. So नई शिक्षा नीति NEP, न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी, नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी में मेजरली बहुत सारे रिफॉर्म्स किए गए हैं. जहां पे द पैनल which was headed by Kasturi Rangan, KR Kasturi Rangan. So they also brought this change in the name of HRD ministry to the new Ministry of Education, and they implemented few of the important necessary steps which were required. So Ministry of Human Resource Development has started this process of NEP in our country to bring about the reforms in Indian education system. भारतीय शिक्षा प्रणाली में बहुत सारे revolutionary steps लाए गए हैं. So with the UGC, there is more active involvement to make this saman hissa, equity, efficiency, gunavatta, efficiency and academic excellence in national higher education system. तो यहाँ पे the importance is basically given to the cultivating more and more innovation skills and making the learning education much more interesting and systematic. So there are certain key points to be understood in the National Education Policy 2020. फर्स्टली एक चीज ध्यान रखनी है कि द न्यू पॉलिसी जो इम्प्लीमेंट हुई है, सो दिस एम्स फॉर एन यूनिवर्सलाइजेशन ऑफ एजुकेशन फ्रॉम प्री स्कूल्स टू द सेकेंडरी लेवल विथ 100% GER. GER का फुल फॉर्म है ग्रॉस एनरोलमेंट रेशियो. ये एक स्टैटिस्टिकल मेजर है एजुकेशन सेक्टर में. सो बेसिकली स्कूल्स फ्रॉम एलिमेंट्री, मिडिल स्कूल, हाई स्कूल, इन सबको ये एक नापने का इंडेक्स है. सो इट इज यूज्ड एज अ रेशो ऑफ द नंबर ऑफ स्कूल्स who live in that country to those who qualify for that particular grade level. तो यहाँ पे ये रिफॉर्म लाया गया है. NEP 2020 will bring 2 crore out of school children back into the mainstream. और ये जो 10+2 का सिस्टम था ना, 10+2 का, वो अब कन्वर्ट होके 5+3+3+4 ऐसे लाया गया है. 5+3+3+4. ओके, सो इसकी बात हम करने वाले हैं हमारा एजुकेशन सिस्टम, हायर एजुकेशन सिस्टम का पार्ट जब आएगा, यूनिट 10. Okay, so the emphasis is laid on foundation literacy and numeracy. So there is this different courses which are being launched, और यहाँ पे सबसे अच्छी खासियत ये है कि बहुत सारे courses from vocational to different other home science courses are given enough opportunities to make their own role in this. So teaching up to at least grade 5 should be in the mother language, is one of the mother language or other regional languages, is one of the reform which has been considered. Okay, so you can have a look at them. So इसकी थोड़ा सा और चर्चा करते हैं. This all schools are to be rationalized by 2025 and all the higher education institutions are to become multidisciplinary by 2040. Okay, तो इसकी अगर हम बात करें कि न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी या फिर नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी को इम्प्लीमेंटेशन कैसे क्या लाना है, तो इसके बाद हम ये करते हैं कि मेजरली it is supposed to get implemented fully by 2022 and will be implemented in all phases by 2022 because हमारा भारत देश बहुत बड़ा है ना. So some small changes have to come from the grassroots level. So Initial phase is supposed to get completed by 2022. There are some, okay. Yes, we'll look at that part when we will be discussing about the education sector. Would that be fine? Because I've got the PPT to explain that part specifically in that section. Okay. So national education policy seeking is majorly been राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति में जो भी चुनौतियां जो वो चुनौतियों को टारगेट करती हैं उसमें मेजरली आता है एक्सेस, इक्विटी, क्वालिटी, अफोर्डेबिलिटी एंड अकाउंटेबिलिटी. तो राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति में मेजरली पहुंच, समान हिस्सेदारी, गुणवत्ता, सामर्थ्य एंड अकाउंटेबिलिटी की बात करी है. जवाबदेही, शिक्षा प्रणाली के सामने जवाबदेही, इन सब की बात आती है. So majorly these all steps, many steps which have been taken are being designed to make this education in India much more fruitful. Okay, so you can have a look at the next part which we are going to discuss. Great. Okay, so there's this question which has been asked, raised by Rajat. So let me ask about this. Okay, so this 10 plus 2 का conversion 5 plus 3 plus 4, 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 में लाया गया. There's a big shift in education system. Why is that done? This is basically being done to make the education system more and more कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव. तो जो 10+2 के सिस्टम में एक ऑब्सोलेट जैसा हो जाता था, तो यहाँ पे दो दिस न्यू स्कूल सिस्टम ओनली ब्रिंग्स अबाउट 3 years ऑफ किंडरगार्टन लर्निंग. किंडरगार्टन लर्निंग के बाद फाउंडेशनल लर्निंग है, प्राइमरी लर्निंग है, और उसके बाद में देयर इज दिस लास्ट लेवल ऑफ लर्निंग. सो मेजरली दिस 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 is done to make account of the 5 years of foundational study, 5 years of foundational study, 3 years in the middle stage, 3 years in the middle stage, then 3 years in the preparatory stage, 3 years in the preparatory stage, and finally 4 years in the secondary stage. Okay, so the division of the stages has been made in line with the cognitive development of the child. तो उसके ध्यान को रखते हुए, उस चीज को ध्यान को रखते हुए यहाँ पे अर्ली स्कूलिंग, फिर स्कूल इयर्स एंड देन सेकेंडरी स्टेज में विभाजन किया गया है. Okay, so there is this age-wise breakdown of different levels of new education system. Okay, so 5 years foundational study में हम बात करें तो ये 3 से 8 वर्ष की आयु के बच्चों के लिए आंगनवाड़ी जिसको कहते हैं, प्री स्कूल लर्निंग, क्लास 1 क्लास 2 का लर्निंग हो जाएगा. फिर then there is 3 years of preparatory stage for the students of 8 to 11 years of age. 8 से 11 वर्ष की आयु के बच्चों के लिए, जैसे मान ले कक्षा 3 से कक्षा 5 के बच्चों के लिए. तो जो भी आंगनवाड़ी के बच्चों के लिए कंटेंट है उससे थोड़ा सा हायर लेवल हमारा डेफिनेटली preparatory stage में आएगा. 3 years of preparatory stage, then there is 3 years of middle stage. 3 years of middle stage, age ranging from 11 to 14 years, class 6 to 8, है ना. तो ऐसे विभाजन किए गए हैं. एंड फाइनली द सेकेंडरी स्टेज विच अकाउंट्स फॉर 14 to 18. ओके, ग्रेट. Is that clear? So basically यहाँ पे जो मेन शिफ्ट लाया गया है तो वो उन सब्जेक्ट्स के, स्किल्स के, इंटरेस्ट के और बच्चे के विकास के चीज को ध्यान में रखते हुए लाया गया है. Okay, so next we talk about the difference between formative and continuous evaluation, which has been asked by Miss Urjita. So Urjita ji, यहाँ पे formative and continuous evaluation में सबसे important difference तो यही बनता है. हालांकि we have this slide coming up in a short while. Maybe it is going to come up. There is this difference. Yes, so it's coming in a short while. Don't worry. You can take that question once the slide comes there. So evaluation does not end with the summarization, है ना? Summarization of results. It has the direct impact on the improvement of the system as a whole, है ना? So then there is this system of feedback, मोटिवेशन, गाइडेंस एंड रेमिडिएशन. रेमिडिएशन का मतलब क्या है कि जहां पे हमारी कमी है उसको फिलअप करना, है ना? सो बचपन में हमें क्लासेस, ट्यूशंस क्लासेस होते हैं, सो जिसको हम रेमिडियल्स कहते थे. सो I remember my sister telling me that there is this division, whole sort of division between smart students and remedial students. Remedial students are supposed to be those students who require extra pasting by the teacher, एक चीज को बार बार समझाना. उपचार, what is उपचार? So उपचार solution. तो यहाँ पे हाँ, रेमिडियल को उपचार कहते हैं क्या? I never heard about this. Classification of tools and techniques of evaluation. So basically there are this different divisions: quantitative and qualitative evaluation. Quantitative evaluation की बात करें, then there are this oral techniques, written techniques, practical techniques. And अगर qualitative की बात करें तो observation, checklist method, interview method. So all these different techniques are basically being done to connect the knowledge to the life outside school. Okay, तो यहाँ पे बच्चे का सर्वांगीण तरह से चेक करना हो जाता है. Okay, so this ensures that learning is shifted away from the rote learning method. So this enriches curriculum to provide overall development of the child rather than book centric, rather than textbook. एक ज़ोंबी की तरह पढ़ने से अच्छा है कि आप दुनिया से पढ़ो, मतलब दुनिया को देखते हुए, दुनिया में रहते हुए, इस नेचर को एक्सपीरियंस करते हुए, इस पूरी लाइफ को जीते हुए पढ़ो, है ना? So life is the best teacher. So how you behave towards your life experiences, how you tackle different situations is also a part of learning, because learning doesn't get restricted to the book centric contents, but it also has the remarkable impact on our life as well. तो हम कैसा बर्ताव रखते हैं जीवन के सामने, वो भी मायने रखता है, right? So this is taking care of the different aspects. तो यहाँ पे qualitative की बात करें, qualitative and quantitative की बात करें, तो quantitative techniques में oral, written and practical techniques हैं. So there is this question: questioning skill in teaching is most useful in what? Enriching students, active participation in the learning, right? Very much essential, क्योंकि यहाँ पे क्वेश्चनिंग स्किल में हम स्टूडेंट्स के ओरल टेक्निक्स का फायदा लेते हैं, एंड द एबिलिटी टू कम अप एंड आंसर, उसका फायदा, उसका पूरा यूटिलाइजेशन करते हैं. सो इन द रिटन एग्जामिनेशन, जिसको हम पेंसिल पेपर टेस्ट भी कहते हैं, दिस टेक्निक हियर you must be knowing, पहले के टाइम पे we had this OMR sheet filling NET के एग्जाम में. I remember giving my paper for the NET JRF such that मेरा first attempt जो था, so in the second attempt I cleared with good score, but the first attempt was terrible, where I had not prepared anything. I had just gone to give a exam so as to get an experience, masters के पहले साल में. तो उस टाइम पे आई रिमेम्बर मी फिलिंग अप दोज that circles and teacher is telling me to taking that page OMR sheet, and I'm trying to, ma'am please, and finally I could circle those 2 dots which had no marks. I but then this system उसके just next साल में ऑनलाइन आ गया, सब कुछ ऑनलाइन, wherein you just cannot have that connection with the teacher, but you have to get connected with the computer screen. और उस टाइम पे आपको कोई भी एक्स्ट्रा 1 सेकंड नहीं मिलता है, 1 सेकंड भी नहीं मिलेगा आपको, भले आंसर पता हो, पर अगर आप वहां पे टिक ना कर पाए तो मार्क्स कोई मिलेगा नहीं. So it's very important that online learning में, online test में, we have to be very much particular with the time. So there is these different methods of examinations. Qualitative techniques की बात करें, then we have observation, checklist, interviews, rating scale, questionnaire, etc. And now finally we talk about formative and summative assessments. Formative and summative assessments में बात करें तो formative assessments is basically being done, conducted during the learning process. मतलब कि पढ़ाई के दौरान जो आपको छोटे छोटे टेस्ट के माध्यम से मूल्यांकन किया जाता है उसको फॉर्मेटिव एनालिसिस कहते हैं, एज कंपेयर टू द समेटिव असेसमेंट्स विच इज डन एट द एंड ऑफ द कोर्स. जो आपको ये होगा मे बी, जैसे आप सब कंटेंट होने के बाद जब क्वेश्चन पेपर्स को सॉल्व करने बैठ जाते हो, है ना, सो आपके ड्राइव में देर आर सो मेनी क्वेश्चन पेपर्स विच हैव बीन गिवन टू यू, विच हैज बीन प्रोवाइडेड टू यू, so that you get that feel of final examination and you start getting yourself prepared for it, है ना. आंसर्स के साथ साथ आपको अपलोड किए गए हैं, so but don't look at the answers, solve that paper and then go for that, है ना. So there's this primary difference between formative and summative assessments that lies in the nature and the frequency of occurrence. तो किसका frequency of occurrence सबसे ज्यादा होगा, formative के summative में? कौन बताएगा मुझे? Let me ask. शमी जी बताइए, in which assessment there will be more frequency of occurrence? In which assessment method? Shami ji, are you there? Hello, Shami ji, are you there? It is formative. So students have already answered. It is formative. Correct. So then we move to the more better distinction between both. बात करते हैं formative and summative assessment and the basis of comparison की. So formative assessment is a technique which you understood. It is done over the period of time during the class hours and all. Summative at the end. It's a standard जो बाद में लिया जाता है ना. So the nature की बात करें तो यहाँ पे डायग्नोस्टिक होता है ये, जहाँ पे छोटी छोटी चीजों के it's always better to assess in the formative method, क्योंकि हम छोटे छोटे टेस्ट के माध्यम से स्टूडेंट्स के पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट्स को, स्टूडेंट के पर्टिकुलर वीक एरियाज को टारगेट कर सकते हैं. एंड यहाँ पे ये मंथली या फिर क्वार्टरली होता है. Summative is at the term end, once the term gets ended. This formative is used to enhance learning. सीधी सी बात है, students who have answered the test, they must have realized that if they didn't get good score, they must have realized that there is a necessity that you listen to the classes much more cautiously so that आपको paper answering के time पे ज़्यादा easy हो जाएगा. Then this summative test, which is basically measuring students' competency, student competency कि कितने हद तक student अपने level को grade up कर पाया है. So it's always better that you go for formative so that final में एक बहुत बड़ा पत्थर आप पे ना गिर जाए, बहुत बड़े डाउट्स का पत्थर आप दब ना जाए उस डाउट्स के बहुत बड़े से पत्थर के तले. इसलिए बेटर ये है कि आप फॉर्मेटिव असेसमेंट को फॉलो कीजिए. सॉल्व द टेस्ट विच आर बीइंग सेंट टू यू. ओके, गोल क्या है? दिस मॉनिटर स्टूडेंट्स लर्निंग एंड समेटिव में इट इवैल्यूएट स्टूडेंट्स लर्निंग. ओके, सो मेजरली हम चीज कह सकते हैं कि द वेट ऑफ ग्रेड्स in the formative is low, but however final में you have finally overall subjects in one place in one test, right? So उसका grading भी high होता है, right? So now we talk about assertion and reasoning question. तो एक brainstorming question है, आपको आंसर करना है, क्या उसका आंसर है ये बताना है. So the question is to you and you have to tell me personally. Okay, आपको everyone, मतलब you don't have to message in the chat box and send it to all, but you have to send them answers to me personally. आपको पता होगा ना? So start. There's this question being asked: education system demand promoting reflective level of teaching. Okay, reflective level of teaching. I'll go to that question and I'll answer for Dipti ji. I'll have to see what question you're talking about. Yeah? So you can talk to me after class maybe. Okay. Yeah. So education system demands promoting a reflective level of thinking. What is it? Reason: memory level teaching does not improve intelligence. Memory level teaching does not improve intelligence and increases students' abilities. So इसका आंसर क्या होगा? Everybody has to give answer to me, message to me privately. There is this option. You have to not answer it to everyone. Don't tell your answer to everyone. Don't spam them. Let everybody do by themselves. Okay. So tell me the answer. Okay. Subramaniam ji has answered it correctly. 3 cheers for you. Our poll is for the rest. Answer: both the assertions and reasons are correct, and the reason is the correct explanation of the assertion. Assertion and reason are correct, but the reason is not the correct explanation for the student. Yes, answer. Okay, great. So many have answered it, and finally, so sabhi ne answer kar diya hai. Anybody else? I'm waiting for more. Navjyoti, Urjita, Deepti, Upadhyay, Mamta ji have answered. All are correct till now. Upadhyay is also correct. Rajesh, आपको थोड़ा सा check करना पड़ेगा. Beena ji is also wrong. Answer it. Answer it again. Yes, Ramesh ji has answered it correctly. Taruna ji has also answered it correctly. Okay, great. So आपको पता होगा memory level teaching क्या करता है? Memory level teaching is basically the technique which focuses on mugging up and cramming. Mugging up and cramming, which is not good for developing students' capacity. And thereby, reflective method of teaching helps the students to develop higher order skills like critical thinking, logical reasoning, so on. Right? Correct. So those who have answered B is correct. So next we move to the another important part which talks about this part. Okay, so we can conclude the class for now. We'll have it नेक्स्ट डे. जो आपका पार्ट थोड़ा सा बचा है वो आपका कल कंटिन्यू होगा. कल की क्लास में हम यूनिट 1 कंप्लीट कर रहे हैं एंड देन विल मूव टू द यूनिट 2 व्हिच इज कमिंग अप एंड व्हिच इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट टू बी स्टडीड व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट रिसर्च, है ना. तो हम सभी को शोध में आगे बढ़ना ही है, बिकॉज फाइनली PhD is all about research and the research papers, right? So let's be waited for the class which is going to come for the unit 2. Stay tuned. Thank you so much. Let us conclude the class with the Shanti Path. Join your both palms. Namaskar Sthiti. Aankhein band. शांति 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 सर्वारिष्टः सुशांतिर्भवन्तु सर्वेभ्यो नमः धन्यवाद थैंक यू सो मच yes so Taruna ji you may call me okay bye thank you